Hello again, this is John with another review for you, this time of the Uncovsky Dark series. Now if you've never heard of Uncovsky, you're probably not alone. It's, as far as I can tell, a one-man shop in the Czech Republic. They do everything in-house, and all their knives are made to order. They don't produce a bunch of stuff and stock it anywhere. They have no distributors, nothing like that. Everything is custom made. The one you see here today is one I was lucky enough to pick up from a fellow on Knife Swap. So I did not custom design this one, but that said, it's pretty close to what I would order for myself. Just like before, I'm going to go over the good, the okay, and the bad. So let's get started with the good. First off is the blade on this thing. The blade on this thing is really, really good. This is a full flat ground RWL 34 sheep's foot blade that came razor sharp out of the box, shaving sharp even. And it has this nice rectangular opening hole here. It makes it very easy to open. You can open it with your middle finger, index finger, thumb. It's all good. Second on the good side is the action. The action on this guy is just amazing. It is one of the smoothest folding knives I've ever felt in my life. It snaps open, no matter how you want to open it. And just kind of wants to fall shut. Nice hydraulic drop. This is one of the guys you probably want to watch your fingers when closing it. But it is phenomenal. It's running on bearings, I believe ceramic bearings. I should have checked that before this review, but I'll put it in the comments, or in the description box rather. Third up in the good is the light and slender build. Now I have extra large hands, kind of taking up the whole frame here, but this knife, you can kind of see it's not very tall in this dimension here. It's not very wide. It feels just fantastic in the hand, and it's very, very light despite its length. The guy I bought it from actually complained that he thought it was too light. Now I don't think I felt a pocket knife that's too light, but I guess some people feel that way. The construction on this is almost entirely titanium. The scales, liners, clip, and hardware are all titanium. The only steel on here is the blade and the pivot, which makes it very, very lightweight for its size. While we're on the topic of construction, one of the things I really like is that every single screw on this knife, 2 screws here, 2 screws in the back, and there's 2 screws holding in the clip. You can see them there. They're all T10s. No fiddling with T6s, no even T8s. All T10s. I love that from a perspective of actually taking apart my knife and maintaining it. Makes it very easy. You don't have to worry about stripping anything. It's just, I love it. Very good touch. Lastly, on the definitively good side, we have the customization. These knives are, like I said, made to order, and you can choose from a bevy of different options, including blade shape, opening holes, opening methods, anodization colors. For example, here I'm reading off the site. For the blades alone, you have sheep's foot, drop point, Persian, Bowie, dagger, and tanto. Another option that can be customized is the opening method. I've seen thumb studs, front flippers, and various opening holes of all shapes and sizes. I think Uncovsky will machine basically any shape and size you tell him to. I've seen triangles, rectangles, circles, even a teardrop. As for the rest of the custom options, there's anodization, laser engraving, zircuti standoffs, and I've seen at least one knife where he shortened the blade length to conform with local blade length laws. Oh, and because I forgot to mention it before when talking about the opening holes, his round opening hole is licensed by Spyderco, so he's not trying to rip anyone off. He's a good guy in that regard. That about sums up the good. It has a wonderful blade, an even more wonderful action, great construction with all T10 screws. It's very light and slender, and there are a lot of customization options, so you can fancy this up to your heart's content. Now for what's just okay. These things are things I think are important, but that I don't really think are necessarily good or bad. They might affect your decision to buy one of these or to check one out, and they might not, so let's get into that. Now the only thing that's okay about this knife is the availability. I understand it's made by one man who does everything in-house, which is fantastic. A very talented man, but it also means there's a 4-month lead time, and you're never going to see these in regular production. These are all custom made to order, like I mentioned before. You're not going to find them in stock anywhere. There's no distributors. There's no network. There's nothing like that. It took me a while to find this one on the secondary market because the people who buy them typically do not let them go. So just consider that. If you want one of these, you're probably going to have to custom order it. Now on to the bad, and sadly, as much as I love this knife, there is a fair amount of bad. The first thing on the bad list was out of the box, the centering and the detent on this thing both sucked. They were both really, really bad. I know I praised the detent earlier, but that's after it's been tuned by me. Before, it was very, very light, and doing this, I would be flinging out the blade and hitting the tripod right now. But it was very light, and the centering was way off to the clip side. I had to take this knife apart and bend the lock bar in to both fix the detent and fix the centering. I'll get into the price after, but that's never something you want to see out of the box on a knife that costs this much and takes this long to get. Next up on my list of disappointments is the detent ramp. Let me show you real quick. It does have a detent ramp. Focus in. There we go. See it cut into the blade right there. And just, let's listen. See that clicking? I'm happy now because before this review it didn't function as a detent ramp at all. It would actually get stuck on that ramp, and putting all my force into it couldn't get it to override it. Until while doing this video in an earlier take, I forced the blade so hard that it finally clipped over that ramp and something in there snapped. I don't know if it chipped off a piece of steel or something, but it now is functional as a ramp. Before it did not, it just got stuck. So now it's, I mean, like, here's the ramp in action. Get it right to the detent right there. I gotta still force it past. So I'm not sure why that detent ramp is even there. Like I said, it didn't work out of the box, and I really had to force it to break it in. So I don't know, that was kind of another half-assed thing in this knife, which we'll get into a couple more half-assed things in a second. But like I said, big disappointment for me. I'm a big fan of detent ramps when they're done well. I've done a few myself. They're not that hard to get right. You just have to go slow and be careful. It's a little sad that Uncovsky couldn't get it on this. Now the next swing and a miss here from Uncovsky is the sharpening choil. Let me see if I can get that in focus here for you. Perfect. You can see right here, there is indeed some kind of cutout. I don't know if it's supposed to be a sharpening choil. He could have expanded that like 2 or 3 millimeters and it would have worked. But right now it doesn't even go past the plunge, nor did he try and sharpen it all the way to the heel. So I don't know what was going on there. It might just be a cutout for the stop pin, but it really easily should have been a sharpening choil. I do like sharpening choils on my knives. I think I've been spoiled in that way. But come on, it's so close. And last up on the bad, or second last rather, is the edges. This knife is a little rougher on the edges in more ways than one. I'm not going to try and get it on video. I've taken pictures close up with my macro function. But the finishing on the edges of the titanium, both the liners and the scales, the inside of the hole, the side of the clip, they're all very rough. There's machine marks, rough spots. Some places it looks like he didn't try and sand them at all. They were just laser cut and then anodized. Again, not something you're looking for in a knife this price, especially done by one man. You'd think he would have the attention to detail. But, I mean, I can't criticize him too much. Again, this is done by one guy. He's obviously a lot more talented than me. But these pictures I'm showing you right now, this should not be coming from a knife at this price, regardless of who's doing it. And now finally, the last bad part is the price. These knives start at $375 US. That's for titanium scales, titanium liners, and an RWL34 blade. That's for the basic one, no custom options. So you get to pick a blade type and that's it. That's really high. This one, because of the liners and the custom opening hole, cost me $395. Oh yeah, spoiler, I still like this knife though. I am planning on ordering a custom one for myself. It's going to be a Persian with a front flipper opening. That's going to cost me at least $415 if I don't anodize it. So these things are not cheap. And that's kind of why I've been so hard on the various fit and finish flaws. Because at $395 for this thing, I would hope the edges would be finished better. I would hope it would come with a good detent out of the box. I would hope it would be centered. If that's unreasonable, please let me know. But I mean, $395 is a lot of money for any kind of knife, especially these materials. It should be top notch at this price. So that's it for the bad. I did kind of spoil it before when I said I'm going to order another one. Yes, I am probably going to keep this. Yes, I am probably going to order another one. Yes, I am going to pay over $400 for it. Because honestly, the design and the feel in the hand, the slender build, the custom options, the action, everything is so good. I can get over it being a little rough around the edges. And honestly, if I wanted to, I could take apart these scales. I do anodizing. I could anodize them myself after I filed down and sanded the edges and did a little polishing and stuff. I could cut a new sharpening choil in it. I already fixed the action. You shouldn't have to fix a knife you pay almost $400 for, but for how good this knife is otherwise, I'm okay with that. Now, I'm not saying everyone should run out and buy one, and I actually did just check on their site. It's not a 4-month lead time right now, it's a 6-month lead time. As of now, in the end of June 2020, they're backed up until December 2020. So yeah, I'm not saying everyone should go out and buy one. If you like the design and you want a knife with a really, really nice action and don't mind it being a little rough around the edges, I would say check one out. But checking one out involves waiting 6 months and paying $400. So that's kind of up to you to decide. So yeah, I do like it. It's not perfect. It's not for everyone. But it's one of my favorites at the moment, and I'm probably going to keep it. So that's it. Have a good day. Thanks.